week, the rest of this week to jump, so we wish her nothing but the best. Having said all of that, let me say this. I mean, I got bad news for y'all. You know, Christmas Day, me and the family evidently going to be in L.A. You know, we gonna be in L.A. You know what I'm saying? Because it's Brooklyn versus the Lakers. It's Brooklyn versus the Lakers. I guess I'm going to be at the Staples Center. I mean, I ain't missing that one. I ain't missing that game right there. That's what it's all about right here. Do y'all understand?
No snow on Christmas for you, Stephen A.
I mean, listen to me and the family, me and the girl, we're going to be right here in L.A. They'll get over it. They'll love it. But here's the deal. Do y'all have any idea how beautiful this season is going to be? I got 6 legitimate contenders in the Western Conference alone, okay? You got both L.A. squads. You got Denver, okay? You got Utah. I mean, Lord have mercy. I'm just looking at some of the stuff going on in the NBA. This might be the best season. I can't think of a season that I've looked forward to more. Because in the East, you got Milwaukee, Brooklyn's coming, all right? Philly can't be ignored. Atlanta put us on notice. Miami just got Kyle Lowry. Not Mike Lowry from Bad Boys, Will Smith. Not Mike Lowry. Kyle Lowry. They got Kyle Lowry with Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo coming back in the crew. Okay, I'm just looking. Boston got a new coach. You still got Tatum and Brown. You retained Smart, who, by the way, I think should have. I know he couldn't get more because of Max. Should have got more. I think he's worth more than the $77 million personally over 4 years. But having said all that, I can honestly tell you, I don't know. And knowing how badly Brooklyn and how badly America wants Brooklyn, L.A., how badly Brooklyn probably wants L.A., and L.A. probably wants Brooklyn, I don't know if I've ever looked more forward to an NBA season than the one we are about to embrace. I can't wait.
Well, listen, Stephen Naismith, while it is true that you love some NBA basketball, and this game is taking place Christmas Day, Lakers-Nets in L.A., you also are very, very fond of Aaron Rodgers, that bad man. In fact, you have branded yourself practically, when you think of Aaron Rodgers, I think of you saying that bad man.
He is
and the Cleveland Browns are playing the Packers also Christmas Day. Maybe you should go to Green Bay. Maybe you should go to Green Bay. You know what? I think it's best that I go to L.A. for the Lakers and Nets. And I'm a Lakers fan after all. And as such a big Rodgers guy, maybe you should go to Green Bay for Green Bay and Cleveland. What do you think?
You know, I went to a doctor. I got examined by a doctor earlier, earlier in the week, and they just said that, my body with the cold weather, it's not really.
I see.
We don't
it's that
vibe,
West Indian blood.
So it's important for my health, my spirit.
I should go to the Green Bay.
Hey,
Stephen, I want to show you something.
It's good that I'm in L.A. and I watch Green Bay and Cleveland on television. That's what the plan will be.
Here's the thing. I don't think there are any contenders in the Western Conference or the Eastern Conference if Brooklyn and L.A. are healthy. I think they're pretenders. Great teams. Oh. But if L.A. is healthy, I think they're going to the final.
I think if Kawhi gets healthy, the Clippers are contenders.
Else is
I think if Kawhi gets healthy.
I'm assuming that Kawhi
and Jamal Murray gets healthy, Denver's a contender.
But I don't think ultimately, I don't think they're going to beat the Lakers. I agree there are more contenders in the Western Conference. If Brooklyn's healthy, good luck, everybody. Good luck, everybody. But I want to show everyone. Can you see this? This is what SportsCenter put out on Twitter. And you have Brooklyn. You're seeing.
You can hold it up.
Look at that. Kyrie and KD and James Harden and Blake Griffin and L.A., LeBron James, Carmelo, and Westbrook and AD. And guys, I guess Carmelo is the one farthest from his prime, and you can still see he can play. Blake Griffin seemed to fall off, but then he posterized Giannis, so actually his game is probably as effective as ever.
I have a problem with that photo.
What's that?
I have a problem with that photo.
What's that?
What the hell is Blake Griffin doing being the most prominent face on that picture?
I'm saying, I like the composition of the photo. I hear you. If you want to do it relative to their importance, he'd be the smallest.
It should have been KD or LeBron or listen, even Russ or Kyrie.
What are you, the Grinch who stole
Griffin is the most prominent face?
Stop being the Grinch who stole sports Christmas.
He is the Grinch.
This is a great picture.
You're
nitpicking. My point is, like Westbrook, LeBron, AD, Harden, KD, and Kyrie are all more or less as good as they've ever been. Like they're still among the very best players in the game. And Blake and Carmelo are still really good. Like,
is that your screensaver?
Maybe I should make it. What a game, Christmas Day. What a treat. And then Browns and Packers too. What, like, Christmas can't come soon enough. Like Christmas indeed.
I will say this. I do have a complaint. Okay.
What?
First of all, let's make sure if we're the Brooklyn Nets, let me send a message to Sean Marks and Steve Nash and the crew. Could you make sure you wear your black uniforms? I don't know where the hell y'all got those blue Nets uniforms from. What the hell is that about? Get
Sky
rid of
blue and
red. You in Brooklyn. You in Brooklyn, okay? It's black or white. Black or white. The white with the black trims or the black with the white trims. That's the outfit. Get rid of them damn blue uniforms.
Brooklyn was
looking
always
like you
more
showing
colorful.
up to a Carolina game or something.
Brooklyn was always more colorful than Uptown. If we're talking about New York style, it was Uptown that kept it monochromatic and dark a lot of times. Brooklyn was always more colorful.
Brooklyn's one of the boroughs. It's one of the boroughs, okay? We ain't down with that little sky blue look.
Yeah, I'm with you, Stephen.
In the playoffs. They're going to win a first-round series because they're going to be a lower four-seeded team, not an upper four-seeded team, which means they're going to have to play one of the following teams. The Brooklyn Nets, or the Knicks going to beat the Nets? And when I ask that question, I mean, are they going to win a single game from the Nets? The answer is no. Are they going to beat the defending champion Milwaukee Bucks? No, they won't. Are they going to beat the 76ers? Well, that depends what they get for Ben Simmons. Yeah, Daryl Morey's going to get fleeced, right? No. They're going to put a team around Embiid. They will not be better than the team with the best record in the Eastern Conference this past season. They ain't beating no 76ers. Are they going to beat Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra's Miami Heat, who just added Kyle Lowry and PJ Tucker to Jimmy Butler and company, Bam and Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson? No, they won't. They're not beating any of those four teams. I don't know that they'd beat the Bulls. Maybe they beat the Pacers or the Wizards or whoever else is there. But they're not beating one of the top four teams, and they're going to have to play one of them, meaning they ain't winning a first-round series. By the way, I don't know if they beat the Hawks. I don't know if they beat Atlanta. I thought they were going to extend that series 7 games this year, and that didn't happen. I love Kemba Walker, one of my favorite players. For all the reasons and more that you just said, Stephen A., I agree with you about the culture change on the Knicks. That ain't enough to beat teams better than you. They ain't getting out of the first round.
Well, let me start off by saying this, okay? First of all, it's good to see you, Stephen A., Max, and always good to see Molly. But here it is. See, look, Max, let me tell you something. You got to watch out for Stephen A., okay? He's slick with his stuff, okay? He's really slick with his stuff. And I caught exactly what he just did. See, he avoided the question because you know he's a New York Knicks fan, New York stand-up, and he did not want to go against his New York Knicks. So what he did was he provided us with a beautiful eulogy about Kemba Walker. I mean, praising his character, praising everything about him. When the question was asked, are they getting out of the first round? And the answer is hell no. It's all Max's points for them not being a top 5 seed, a top 5 team in the Eastern Conference. You got the Milwaukee Bucks, you got the Philadelphia 76ers, the Brooklyn Nets, the Miami Heat, the Boston Celtics. So they're going to fall in that bottom tier. Now, with that being said, look, I love the culture over there that World Wide West, Scott Perry, and Tom Thibodeau has established, and I think the future is bright. The future is just not right now this year, okay? And when you look at what they did last year, the New York Knicks were actually hunting. But now this year, they're going to be the hunted. I'm not saying that they're a title favorite, but teams are going to get their rest when they got to play the New York Knicks. Teams are going to strap up their shoes. Teams are going to walk into Madison Square Garden with a different type of mentality because they know that they got to come out there and give this team everything they got, because we all know that one thing about Tom Thibodeau team, they're going to play extremely hard on the defensive side of things. Another thing that concerned me in Kemba Walker's speech was when they asked him about playing back-to-backs. And he said, I don't know yet. And from what my sources tell me, now I'm not Woj, and I'm not trying to be Woj is in a whole other atmosphere, but I do have some relationships. And from what my understanding is that Kimber needs are just not the same. That don't mean that he can't go out there and contribute and give buckets, but it's just not the same old Kimber. So with that being said, to answer your question, Molly, no, I don't see the Knicks getting out the first round. Hell, they might have even have trouble making the playoffs because they might be in a position to be in the play-in tournament.
Okay. Okay, I appreciate that soliloquy. Thank you very, very much pointing out my slickness. You're right. You got me there. You know what I'm saying? Because I got caught. But I wasn't slick on purpose. I just got a little bit emotional. That's all because I was thinking about my New York.
You were building a culture.
But let me be very, very clear. Let me be very, very clear to Max and Kendrick Perkins. The New York Knicks are going out of the first round. Okay?
Here we
Let me
go.
tell you that right
Going
now.
out in the first
New York
round.
Knicks.
You weren't so confident 5 minutes ago.
Y'all remember this? Y'all remember this? The New York Knicks are going out of the first round. New York, stand up. New York, stand up. That's right. Let me tell you something, Kendrick Perkins, okay? Let me tell you something, right? Like, listen, we had the one-arm bandits that is Julius Randle and R.J. Barrett. Now, I have been told, listen, hey, here's the deal, the one-arm bandit. I have been told, I have been told, and by the way, I'm mad respect and love for the ultimate insider, Adrian Wojnarowski, but I'll be damned if I don't have my sources. I have been told that those two have been kidnapped, that their left hands have been handcuffed and strapped. They haven't been allowed to use it and will not be allowed to use it until the month of October. They have done nothing but use their right hand over the last 2 or 3 months. That's number one. Number two, let's continue to dismiss Mitchell Robinson all we want to. He is a 7'1" center whose primary signature is about defending and shot blocking. That's something that Trae Young and the rest of the crew would need to consider when they were coming in the lane, throwing up those little floaters or having alley-oops. That's not going to be so easy next season. Let's take into account number 3. My poor brother Derrick Rose had to sit up there and exhaust himself because they were getting no help, no productivity pretty much whatsoever from the point guard spot with Peyton. Quickly was young, even though he had good moments. He was relatively young. Now you're going to have Kemba and have Derrick Rose as a true reserve. You know, especially with Kemba being able to create his own shot. We can't summarily dismiss that. Fournier is no scrub. We can't summarily dismiss that. And defense can win you. And so what I'm saying to you is this. You ain't going to beat Brooklyn. I got NBA Finals, won a championship, lost the second one with Larry Brown coaching them in Game 7. Won the first one with Larry Brown. And of all the great, phenomenal things that Joe Dumars has done and he has achieved as an executive, the one stain on his career is that he passed on Carmelo Anthony and drafted Darko Milicic. Because everybody knows how big-time Melo, my brother, was coming out of Syracuse. National champion, came into the NBA, did his thing. Carmelo Anthony averaged 21 a game in the 2003-2004 season as a rookie. Averaged 21 a game, okay? This is what he brought to the table. He was an offensive machine. And the culture that existed in Detroit, the way they played together, the leadership that both Chauncey and Big Ben Wallace and Tayshaun and Rip Hamilton and even Rasheed Wallace, all of them, it was phenomenal. And there's no doubt in my mind they would have gone back-to-back, Max. And here's where I say not LeBron, but D-Wade. No, Melo probably wouldn't have went to 10 NBA Finals. He probably wouldn't have 4 championships, but he would have at least had 2, if not more. And here's the reason why, guys. If Melo, in my opinion, had gone to Detroit and won a championship, he would have tasted what that glory was like and never compromised it in any way. He would have been addicted to it, and that would have been his priority. So come 2007, because I reported this at the time, Max, the big 3, well, not at the time, in 2010 I reported it, that in 2007, LeBron and D-Wade already knew they wanted to play together. Melo was their boy. As much as they love Chris Bosh, Melo was their boy. That was supposed to be the trio that played in South Beach. It was never supposed to be Bosh. I know I broke the damn story. It was supposed to be Melo, Wade, and LeBron. It wasn't supposed to be Bosh, D-Wade, and LeBron. What happened was in 2007, when they were all free, to get contract extensions. They had an opt-out after year 3. Denver came to Melo and said beforehand, we ain't giving you no opt-out. We got this money on the table, but it's for 5 years with no out. And Melo, being a Baltimore native, knowing what it's like to be in the streets, to be poor, to struggle with it, he's like, I wasn't passing up that money. This is guaranteed. Anything could happen. The first thing I need to do is get the bag. And as a result, he didn't bet on himself like they did. He took the money. And because he took the money, he ended up being stuck in Denver, wasn't able to be a free agent to pair with LeBron and D-Wade. That was Bosh instead, which is why his next best option was to insist on getting himself out of Denver, which landed him with the New York Knicks. That's what happened. I'm giving you facts here. I reported all of this. That's what happened.
I remember.
And it's a damn shame because if Melo had gone to Detroit, Max, he'd have won the title in Detroit because they definitely would have repeated with him. Then down the line, he probably would have made the decision, smelling more championships to pair with LeBron and D-Wade and would have won at least 2 more, and he'd have had 3 chips.
Yeah, none of us can
Maybe
go through.
more.
I mean, none of us go through life without thinking, what if? Of course, no one lives an optimal life. It's not possible. Right. And probably my guess is if Melo stayed to his stuck to his guns, probably Denver folds, but maybe not. And he wanted the money. I get it. I'm not sure they go back-to-back with Melo. Let me tell you why. And I don't know if he ever gets mentioned, like is thought of with D-Wade historically. Let me tell you why. Carmelo Anthony left college. And by the way, Stephen A., I took Syracuse before almost anyone took them that year to win the title. I was hosting Around the Horn. I was the original host of Around the Horn, as you know. And I was watching Melo play at Syracuse, and everyone was talking about T.J. Ford and this one and that one. I'm like, Carmelo's the best college player in the country. Syracuse is going to win the title. And sure enough, they did. He left Syracuse as a polished offensive player, a more polished offensive player than Wade or LeBron. But he's never been a two-way player. Now, consider, the Detroit Pistons won that championship because they were, and I mean this, in my lifetime, they were the greatest defensive team in any sport in my lifetime, if not in the history of American team sports. I tip my cap to those early 80s Cardinals teams in baseball and some of those defenses out of Baltimore, the turn of this century, Max, with Ray Lewis. But
could you pause for 1 second?
Yeah.
Just stop right there before you go on.
Yeah.
Are you saying that defense was better than Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen pressing the ball 94 feet?
Yeah, I would say so. And they had less to worry about offensively. Now, you make a very good point there. The Bulls had arguably the 3 best defenders at their position of all time in their primes, basically, in Jordan,
and
Pippen,
big bodies.
and Rodman.
I'm like, watch
they were great. That's actually a very good answer to the Pistons.
And what about the bad boy Pistons?
Here's the difference. That Pistons team was routinely, like my dad talked about the Knicks teams when I was a kid of Walt Frazier and them holding teams to under 90 points on the regular. That Pistons team, as you recall, held teams to under 70 points all the time. You saw at the end of the game, teams with 67 points, good offensive teams. Well, pace of play, whatever. No, it's been the weakest link on defense was Rip Hamilton, who gave effort. But these other guys played it like they meant it. So they win with Carmelo, say as like a 6th-man scorer the first year, maybe, something like that. Are we sure that Carmelo gets them past Miami? Remember, they were trailing Miami 3-2. They came back on them to get to the finals, narrowly lost to the Spurs. It's hard to say that they definitely win.
Let's ask some